Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, especially a great pleasure to be able to talk about high-speed rail. I want to first off say thank you to all of the business community that is here. You know, it's great from a perspective of an elected official to be talking about a project that we believe will be beneficial, but to have the business community here as well pushing for it and being a driving force. Thank you very much. It means a lot, and it's very helpful. To my colleague, my chairwoman on the Rules Committee, Louise Slaughter, she has been outstanding, really. You know, and I've walked in her office a few times for Rules Committee meetings, and she's been just on the phone, just giving somebody hell on the phone for not moving quick enough on high-speed rail. So Louise certainly has been working very hard, and you know, Dan has been a great colleague. One thing that Dan and I have been able to do, and I think it's really critically important, we have tried to look at our respective congressional districts not from a parochial viewpoint, but rather from a larger perspective, that is from an upstate, or more importantly, really from a state perspective. And I think that's really important. You know, this whole group, all of us here, have come together on a number of occasions with one important point in mind, and that is that the whole is far greater than the sum of the parts. That is, if all of us work together, we clearly can do significantly more for the state and for our own particular districts than we could working alone. And that was the idea in getting the $5 million to begin the project. If we all pooled our influence and our requests together and asked for one project, we can do much better than we could individually. And that is, I think, what high-speed rail does. I am on the Transportation Infrastructure Committee. In fact, I'm the senior member from New York for the upstate delegation. And before you get really impressed with that, I'm the only member from upstate New York. Wasn't always that way, but I'm the only member now. But, you know, I think it's very important. New York has a very strong influence on the committee. We historically have had a strong influence on the committee. But what we need, what is critically important for us as upstaters, is the recognition that New York City is as important to upstate as upstate is to New York City. And only together can we really do achieve the most that New York can achieve by working together. And it's important for a Second Avenue subway. It's equally as important to have high-speed rail in upstate New York. You know, people talk about high-speed rail, and they talk about it as if it's some unique special project, like all of a sudden somebody's going to press a button and get a train that moves at 180 miles an hour. It doesn't really work that way. High-speed rail is not just about getting trains to move faster, but getting trains to be more reliable. To be able to ensure that a businessman who has a meeting in New York City at 4 o'clock can get on a train at noon and know that he's going to be in New York City by 3:30 so he can make his meeting. That is part of what high-speed rail is about. It's improving the reliability. So what do we need to do? We need to ensure that we are not only improving our lines, we are not only improving the track, but we're improving the ability of people and goods to move from New York City and the ports there right up through to Niagara Falls. And you know, that's the other point. It's great that the high-speed rail will stop in Syracuse, it will stop in Rochester, it will stop in Utica, but you know what? Niagara Falls will benefit from it, Rome will benefit from it, Amsterdam will benefit, and the rest of the state will. That is what is the important realization. That's what's critical about what we're doing here today. I can tell you that we will work very hard on the Transportation Infrastructure Committee to make sure that the surface reauthorization bill will be approved. We need to do that. That is critical. It's great to talk about it, but that's our job. We have to make sure that the money is there so that we can fix our roads, we can fix our bridges, and we can put in the tracks that are needed for high-speed rail. So I stand here today very honored to be a part of this great coalition, to be a citizen of New York and of the United States, and to be able to work on high-speed rail with all of you. Thank you all very, very much for being here. We appreciate it.